Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty and justice for all. Welcome to the Village of Alexandria Bay regular board meeting, public hearing, April 11th, 2023. Roll call.
Pleasure. Trustee Caputo. Here. Trustee Demo. Here. Trustee Palmer. Here. Mayor Jarvis.
Here. Number one on the list is public hearing concerning overriding the tax cap. Just let everybody know, we've really not really needed the proposed budget at this time stands at, to override the tax cap, it has to be over 2%, correct?
Correct.
And at this time, it's 0.383469 is the proposed budget increase, which equals $38.35 per 100,000 for assessment.
So we don't need to.
Do we need a public hearing on?
No.
No,
I don't believe we do.
not on the tax cap, not if we're not overriding it. We do it just as a safety precaution.
Have a motion to close it on the
I'll
tax.
make a motion to close the public hearing on overriding the tax cap.
Motion by trustee Fulmer,
I'll second it.
second by trustee Demo to close public hearing on overriding tax cap. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Public hearing number 2, presenting adopting the 2023-2024 fiscal budget. Excuse me. As I stated, the proposed increase will be 0.383469. The 2023 village taxes was $1,105,827. 2024 is $1,151,000. Open the floor to public comment. Any public comment? All set? Cindy? Pam?
Got money coming out of my pocket to pay the taxes, so all good.
The hole in your pocket?
That's it. That $11 you just gave me is gone.
I'll make a motion to close public hearing number 2 for presenting and adopting the fiscal 2023-24 fiscal budget. I'll second it.
Motion by trustee Fulmer, second by trustee Caputo to close. In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Regular meeting. Public concerns. Any public concerns? Correspondence? No correspondence? I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes from March 14th, 2023, March 29th, emergency meeting, special meeting, 3/30/23.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from March 14th, March 29th, emergency and special meeting, March 30th, 23. I'll second it.
By trustee Fulmer, second by trustee Caputo. All in favor? Opposed? Motion to pay the bills. Abstract number 10, present.
I'll make a motion to pay the bill abstract number 10 as presented. I'll second it.
Motion by trustee Fulmer, second by trustee Demo to approve. All in favor? trustee reports. Start this.
Gordon Court had their meeting last month at this time, and they have new United Helper employees, and they're working well with the residents, and everybody seems to be happy over there. Some of the residents are coming with activities for the other residents, and they're doing crafts, and they had some music, I think it was today, but the United Helpers wants to see them do more activities, so they get upon them to do that. They're going to do some crafts and sing-alongs and all sorts of stuff. The library is working on hiring a new librarian, and they also are going to bring back their silent auction and move it up to the last 2 weeks of August. They'll take their book sale down that starts the beginning of the summer. They'll take it down 2 weeks early and reinstate the silent auction again. And Docs, we need to hire some people. I know that. I got a list, so getting there. Hearts for Youth has their pink permit, thank you, Lee, for their new building that's going to go out in the corner out here, which will be delivered middle of May. So that's it. I don't have a whole lot either. We still need lifeguards to reach. We have one at this point. We have posters at the school, and I'm just telling everybody to talk to their kids about being a lifeguard. We have a New York Forward meeting on May 8th from 6 to 8 p.m. Again, for people who are interested to come back and bring their papers and talk more and get more information. Water plant, the streetscape, things going on there are all on track, and I think for right now, we're just waiting on the concrete and to pave the one parking lot, and they're putting the stones. Are they starting the stones on the beach next week or the week after?
Next week.
In the next week or so to get that in and get it done.
The riprap?
Yeah, the riprap. And we're still waiting with bated breath to hear at some point it will have a bill funding grant for the sewer plant, which we really could use. So water, sewer, lifeguards. So I think that's it for me.
Well, the weather's finally breaking. I see lots of people on the even very chilly days, the kids out wanting to be on the golf course. We have gotten no applications for the clubhouse workers. Melissa is coming back, but she is, have you gotten anything in that I don't know about? Nope. So we really need workers for the clubhouse afternoon and evenings. Tim has started on the golf course. He's got 2 people to work full-time, Marcus Flynn and a Ronald Cole. And he has 2 part-timers, Larry Breer and Jim Kitchen. He is concerned, has expressed some concern over the age of his workers. He's like, it'd be nice to have some that were under 70. He says, they're great at riding around on the tractors and that stuff, but he would like somebody a little bit younger that could maybe do some heavy lifting and that thing. But he said as of right now, the last few days has been working very well. Want me to talk about the rates, or is that later on the back part?
Later.
Okay. But other than that, the weather's going to be beautiful this weekend. I think we can be open.
Going soon. I didn't get the police report, they haven't been in this week, but I think that's the weather turning. Sure, anything?
Yep. So, I know that everybody has seen that the sweeper's been out. It's been in the shop twice, broke already. So, we're holding it together by a shoestring.
What was in the shop already?
Sweeper.
Oh, the sweeper, okay.
Of course, we've done the shrub pickup and leaves. I asked for anybody that's doing leaves to put them in a trash bag, just strictly because we don't have the leaf box on. we can do it with a loader bucket, but it's a lot quicker to be able to do leaves.
You want me to put that on?
We've gotten out with the benches and trash cans. 95% of the sand barrels are picked up. I was kind of waiting. We always, around Easter, we always get a slime with snow, so I was kind of waiting on any of the hills or anything to just leave them out. So we still have to do that. Hauling of stone for the pickleball courts has been, we've got a nice stockpile of that down behind the barn. I met with Will's Paving in regards to Walton Street, Mill Point, and the pickleball, paving the pickleballs. He's on vacation right now, and the hand railing is getting made for Mill Point along with the sidewalk should start next week on that.
Thank you. Lee? The planning board has met twice since the last board meeting. We've approved 2 site plans. One is Otter Creek Outfitters, the last parcel on Otter Creek before you go over into the town. Recreational rentals, kayaks and boats and so on and so forth with it. And then Pete Cavalierio's renting the Octagon down on the corner of Church and James. He's putting in a 12 by 12 shed also to basically eat and carry, no set down. He's been working with the county code office and DOH for their approval. Both of those site plans needed site plan or sign application approval, which they both received. And we approved another sign permit application for Tim Wagner for kayak rentals out of where he lives, his place of business. Tomorrow, ZBA meeting, will be the first test of our new sign law, asking for a variance, and we'll see what goes from there. If the variance is approved, they still have 2 other steps to go through. It needs to go to county planning because it's within 500 foot of a state road, and then it comes back to the village planning board, would give their final blessing. Approve, deny, approve with conditions. The ZBA can do it, they have that option to approve or deny or approve with conditions. Stay tuned.
Anybody have any questions for Lee?
No.
Thank you. Please say no police report. Old business, ready streetscape projects. Gregor had, his twin's birthday today, so they were taking care of that. The ready project, they've got virtually 90% of the seal work on the upper dock done, by the bathrooms, and they're gonna work out and do the end of it towards where the gazebo is gonna go. They're hoping that within 2 weeks, the new aluminum tops will be delivered from Montreal. It is planned that both the upper James and lower James will be completed for Memorial Day weekend. There's a lot of work, but they figure they will have it ready. I brought this piece up. This will be the ceiling of the new gazebo, just if people wanted to see it. Streetscape. Lovely thing. Fiaco was back in the bay yesterday and completed installing the dock at the Crossland Street boat ramp. They do not have the aluminum railing, which should be delivered within 2 to 3 weeks, so temporary railing was installed, but the Otter Street boat ramp is open, and they started today on the Holland Street. And they hope within 2 weeks to have that fixed and back in operation. Pickleball courts. Jerry's been working really hard on trying to get this thing moving. We did, in order to do it right and elevate it, get it leveled, we need drainage, the stone brought in, tamped, leveled, shot, and make sure it's done correctly. And then Wills will be in to put the rough rough coat of, pavement and then finish top on it.
Yep.
So we do have 3 quotes for, get the base started, completed for Wills. First quote is from JP Excavation, for the pickleball court, and their price was $23,400. Newbury Construction proposed was $20,000. And Otter Creek Site Development, his proposal was $15,000.
So what this will do is what the proposal is we'll dig down, we did some testing up there. The bedrock where this is gonna be isn't too far under, but far enough under. We'll excavate with the village trucks, stone. He'll come in, he'll shoot grade, he'll compact it with his roller. There'll be about 5 legs of 4-inch drain that goes underneath the stone with a manifold of a 10-inch manifold, so all the water will drain from underneath it out to daylight that goes to another ditch on the other side. There'll be 2 layers of geotextile to allow water to filter, but the sediments not to. And then it'll be compacted, shot to grade, and me and Greg have met, and he gave me a price to come in. It will be 3-inch binder, and it'll be 2 inches, 3 inches compacted, 1.5 inches, and then type 6 top, which is a very fine asphalt, and that'll be 2 inches compacted to 1 inch on top of that. So, and I've got all the prices for that end of it too, so.
What are,
So, we can have a motion for Otter Creek Site Development as the low bidder to,
I'll make a motion to accept the low bid from Otter Creek Site Development for the quote from Otter Creek Site Development. I'll second it.
motion by trustee Fulmer, second by trustee Limo, to approve Creek quote. All in favor?
Can we discuss?
Pardon me?
Can we discuss? Can we discuss before we vote?
I'm sorry.
I believe the majority of the reason why a lot of these people are here is there has always been talk of just doing 2 courts. I met with Jarrett down there yesterday to see if we have the room, and I know it's not in our budget right now to do 4 courts, but what I would like to propose and consider is, can we at least do the excavation and the, what'd you call it, the sub work?
Yes.
And because the 2 courts are gonna be side by side, or the 4 courts, you know, you'll have 2, and then 2 more side. So if you do the sub for this one right now too, I think you'll be saving money, and I don't think it'll be, because he'll already have his equipment there. Jared was saying that what they're digging out, they're able to take right down there as you're going up the road. You know how the state is working right now at, where the road, yeah, on that county road. So they don't have to haul the material far away, it's gonna be dumped right there. And so right now is the best time to do that preliminary foundation for those 3rd and 4th courts. Even if we don't have the money to finish them this year, at least get the groundwork set so that if they want to raise money, or there's other organizations that want to donate to it, at least the prep work has been done beforehand.
Can I speak? If we go over $20,000, the whole project changes. It has to be bids now. Because once you're over $20,000, it changes our
From quotes to bids.
policies.
Yes.
So now it has to be changed, goes back, it has to be bids. Because it's gonna change the dollar amounts, correct?
So, the 3 individuals, after the fact, they said that could be a little difference in the money wise, strictly because everything is unknown and unseen underneath.
Mhm.
So we don't know how much of the excavation, and so all three of them have stated that there was a way, and that, if they found that it was possible, that they would let me know. So I did ask them about it, and they the equipment is there, and if it's good going, then it's a possibility.
Is it gonna keep it under $20,000? That's, you know what I'm saying? Because if we go over that, then we're breaking our policies. Okay, that's my question, so.
Can you redo your motion?
Okay, so wait, so we're, right now, we have an estimate to do one pickleball court,
32 by 100.
Two.
two pickleball
Yeah.
courts, okay, and we're saying do the other two,
Just the groundwork.
just the groundwork.
Yeah.
Groundwork for-
And the quote that we have won't go over $20,000.
It's
We don't
something
know.
we can look at afterwards, but it's not.
So,
If they run into trouble,
in
we need to
essence,
stop, because we can't go over the 20,000.
Right,
Mhm.
that's,
Right.
so these bids are for
yeah,
two courts.
there's two courts.
So if we proceed with 4 courts, these quotes are null and void.
Well, and then we're gonna have to do, which we're not gonna be able to, because then it's gonna be a bid process, and then we're gonna be way behind it. So,
So you either do
We've been
the two-
talking, we were asked last fall, not actually last fall, a year ago, to put in 2 more pickleball courts. And now we're looking at more pickleball courts. Just moments before a board meeting.
Well, the problem is that if you go with 4, you can't accept these bids.
right,
No.
we need to move forward. I will tell you that the price that I got for blacktopping was pretty astronomical.
For 2.
For 4.
For 4. You're looking at, I believe it was 32,000, 38,000, something like that, just for the paving. But I'd like to move on with these 2, if we can re-put this after the fact, when we know what we have up there, we can revisit it. But if we could just vote on these tonight, get these 2 going,
So at least you'd have 2 that would be done for
Yes.
this year.
which would be able to be started
They would start this,
this week, if not tomorrow.
Knowing him, he'd be out there at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
So we've got
So do we do
3 days of
do we do
work.
2
We need to
now?
get it done.
Yes,
or do we wait till fall
no,
and go through the process
I'd like to
to
move
try to
forward on-
build 4?
I'd like to move forward on the 2.
So would I. I mean, they've asked for 2 new pickleball courts. We've done the work, we've the quotes. We have 25,000 in the budget for it. There's a check at the town office for another 10,000. In this year's town budget, there's another 20,000 for village improvements. So, we have money to get at least 2 built now for this summer. I personally, let's get, 2 is gonna be better than fighting over a tennis court, making it into a court, right? Mr. Williams?
Did they look at instead of blacktop concrete?
So concrete in this area, because of it cracking so easily, that they suggest that you use blacktop.
Yeah.
I've done quite a bit of homework,
Yeah.
and the problem, and the reason why I wanna do this right, with the drainage and water underneath that, it's gonna freeze, it's gonna pop, and then you end up with a crack like we do with the tennis courts, that we can't.
Isn't there a certain type of blacktop that
So,
you use?
the type 6 is a very, very fine blacktop. If we were to go with anything different, it would have to be a specialty item, which is considered less than pea stone. And pea stone, it would be the pea stone oil, which pea stone is very, very fine. It's hard for us to get it because, number one, the plant doesn't run that small usually. And two, what you look for in the heat in your blacktop is larger stone. Larger stone holds your heat, so you have some sort of heat base when it comes back and you lay it down. So if you were to try to bring water down here in a truck, the heat base wouldn't be that great of a product. So if we use type 6,
What's on the tennis court up there?
my guess is probably type 6.
Oh, okay, so that'd be the same thing as the tennis court, which is good.
What about, like, when you're talking about spending money on the excavation and all that kind of stuff? Has anybody even talked to, like, maybe the town supervisor or, to see if they would help and try to cut the cost a little bit?
We have, and as I say, I even got a notice from the county. Even the county's not helping anybody right now. Everybody is so busy that usually the county will pay for the towns, and they'll use the county paver instead of doing that. I even got a notification from them that they weren't helping. So,
I don't mean by
We're
paving,
talking about
I'm
the
talking about
excavation.
Hold up,
Well,
one at a
the
time,
first
please.
process.
so,
The thing is we, Jarrett, has, the town, they've got all their plans set. We've asked the town, we've asked the county.
That's funny.
We've tried to get,
Somebody talked to Mike Dibbles, and he said, all the village has got to do is come talk to him.
and we, and I
well,
did.
we've said
And
that
then he
before
said
with
no.
other projects,
Because now
but
we're gonna do Swan Hollow.
Okay,
No,
that's all.
so-
I just wanted,
No,
that's all I
no,
heard, so,
and it's-
okay.
we're trying to do the due diligence to get at least 2 for the players for this year.
All right, can I speak then?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, as far as money goes, and so Mike said no, they wouldn't help, I
It's not
mean,
know if they went out, it's just nobody has the time.
Oh.
It's,
okay, so he doesn't have the time, only because
Right.
he's been telling people that he would help.
Well-
If the village and town would get together, they'd do all the excavation work, and then just, we'd have to pay for the top, you know what I mean? That's, I mean, other than the stone or whatever else you gotta put into it, so I'm just curious if that's, we're
Whatever.
hearing that, that's
It,
why.
it might be that they'll help, but it's not right now, and you might not have it.
I'm sorry, what,
Who's doing the landscaping?
landscaping?
Who's doing the base part of it?
Who's doing the base part? Otter Creek. We get it, Otter Creek site development.
So, why don't we do it? We got an excavator, we got a dump truck, we got all.
Well, that's, but nobody understands is I got one day. I got trash and I got recycling. And then sweeping, pick and brush, and I don't know where everybody thinks that I'm just gonna take this whole crew and go up there and spend weeks at a time on a pickleball court. $15,000 for excavation, I think probably I have more than that into my crew.
And we wouldn't get anything else
Can
done.
I say-
And
That
here's
was
the thing,
original-
it has to be, you have to be able to shoot a transom to
Right.
level it. We don't have the equipment. Okay?
And that was when
These guys
everybody-
aren't trained in that. These guys, these bids, they're trained in it.
Right, but my understanding originally, when we talked about doing, 2 years ago, it was gonna be done by that was the fall, last fall or the fall before, I can't lose track of time. It was gonna be the village was gonna do all the excavation work and then have
Well,
the rest of it done after. I'm only speaking to what I've always heard, that's why I'm just trying to get a handle on it, because that's surprising that the excavation work was being bid out would be somebody else. Because my understanding was gonna be them, and then I understood that the town, White Civils or whatever, said he's very willing to help if something happens. That's what I've heard from people involved in the town, so.
they'll help us, but it might be fall by the time they get to it. And I think it'd be better to get it done as soon as possible for this season.
I guess my other thought is I guess I'm just I don't like to waste time, but I'm just thinking if you're doing the excavation work, just what Sandy said, and you gotta put drainage and everything else in, because it's just such a growing sport. We have just an immense amount of people that can't play right now, even at the church level, because there's so many people that wanna play that it's just gonna be a good draw. It's just overtaking tennis, and they don't have to take their courts, even though they really don't use both those courts on top, but they don't want us to use them. So, we're in a situation where I just think economically wise, to bite the bullet, whether we have to say, I think betterment supposedly, if we get them started, was gonna give us it sounds like we have 35,000 plus another 20 in the budget, for some of it maybe, right, the next year, correct? I mean, isn't that what you just said?
Yeah,
25,
but
spend from the town and possibly, I know you can't necessarily use the other 20 for that, but the betterment will donate 5, which I understand that they talked about. Somebody had mentioned maybe the Rotary would help out with it. I mean, you know, I think we have a little more.
I don't know that it's necessarily the funding, but changing it from 2 to 4, from what I understand, changes, you can't do quotes anymore, you have to put it out to bid.
It's a whole big,
I know that, I mean, I understand it's.
it's a big process to go from a.
Said maybe,
Would be,
that maybe one of the companies, if it went to 4 courts, could keep it under that bid, right?
Well, it depends, possibly, what, like I said, I mean, what we
depends on what they
do,
find.
because there's a clause at the bottom that says it doesn't cover the rock or anything else, I mean.
Well, can't we separate it somehow, so when it's Otter Creek is, that's a low bid, are they providing the gravel and all the labor too?
No.
No, we're doing all gravel.
That's just the gravel, it's $15,000.
No, that's the excavating. The village has been stockpiling for it.
Okay, so the excavation's the $15,000, where you're saying,
Rolling,
I thought maybe that was
excavation,
all.
leveling, transit.
Backing.
Our guys have been hauling the stone, Jared's been storing the DPW for a while.
So when we were hauling stone, the town said to me, why aren't they calling us? We got double the trucks, double the size.
We've been hauling all winter, they didn't have a truck, their trucks are all dressed.
You're talking to a different guy than I am.
Right, so.
So
he has
I'm
one-
talking to the same guy Jennifer is, and
Yeah.
He's got one truck.
Well,
He's got one truck that he doesn't dress all winter long. We're running single axles. I mean,
And the guys, believe it or not, on garbage day, they're done early. They got half a day. If you gotta give them a couple extra hours on the
We'll
end,
do it.
give them overtime.
we'll do it,
I think you can do it.
we'll do it.
It saves so much, I mean,
I don't care.
Well, they can do it. Why you buy all the equipment then?
Then when
Why did
you
we
don't
buy a
have
brand new
anything
excavator?
else.
We haven't done a job with it yet.
okay,
You haven't seen all
all right,
the-
that's, we're beyond the scope
I
of
just wouldn't
this,
do it.
okay?
It sounds to me like we have a decision. Decision is, right now, you want to, we could work it out, the bid is, the quote is under 20,000. We either do it, or we wait and have to get quotes to do all 4.
So
And-
could we, I mean, depending on what you guys find, you know, I mean, if you don't need all the excavation that we think we're gonna need, could we do what Sandy wanted to do at least, and just set the groundwork for the other 2 courts? So it'll save you money down the road if it doesn't go over the quote. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, how do you do that?
How do you split?
That's a different proposal, different contract, and those individuals didn't provide quotes for that. So you'd have to start that process anew.
I mean, all of a sudden, we go from 2 to 4, right when we're gonna start doing the work. This should have been brought up last fall, but nobody brought it up last fall.
well, because we were always under the understanding, from anything I've ever been told, I didn't know any of it was being bid out. I thought the excavation work and the groundwork was always gonna be done by the village.
I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about going from, everybody said, please build us 2 courts, now we're going from 2
I'm
to
not,
4.
no, I'm not bitching about not having more than 2 courts, I just think the economical, if we could do it, Sandy's saying, I'm not saying we.
But we
have
go
4
from 2
courts
to
or
4,
something.
but that's not what, the whole plan was, please build us 2 more pickleball courts. That was the idea. That's
Not
what
just
was
for
asked.
us, it's for the tourists that come here that want to play sport. If you want to keep them here and not have them go to Clayton or Cape Vincent and play. It's not just us, it's also
then-
economically profitable for the
then-
village to do something like this.
What's the timeline from start to finish?
Pardon
How
me?
much drag is it?
It's 30,
Start to finish?
it's 38,000 alone for the blacktop.
38,000 for the blacktop,
For the blacktop.
For 2 courts.
for 2.
And he's asking, what's the timeline from start to finish?
The base will be put in, my guess is within a week and a half. Whatever we get a blacktopper in,
Is the plan open yet, Jared?
the plants are open.
So you could have it done by the end of, middle of May?
And if they wanna use the old fence that's everybody wanted to use, but it's shorter than what anybody's gonna want. You know, everybody wanted to go do this, and first it was gonna be put in the parking spot by the tennis courts. Well, there's such a swale in there, all the work that I did, that you would've had to bring it up almost 2 foot worth of work there. You know, I've got endless hours into this.
So I guess the question is, do you want 2 now and 2 later? I mean, it's what it sounds like, in order to make the second 2 happen, it has to go out to bid, and then you have nothing now. You don't have the 2.
Yeah, I
Say
think,
again?
I mean,
Well, I mean, all right, I guess the other question is, could you do the, my concern would be the drainage. If you do the drainage for 2, I mean, is there gonna be a lot more work to do the drainage for, you know, in other words, like, why not do as much underground work as you can for 4? I mean, do you think you're eventually gonna put 4 in? I mean,
It was never asked before until
well,
tonight.
I said something about it, but nobody listened to me, I suppose, but, only because I always know how much cheaper it is to do something like that with 4 than it would be for 2 and try to do 2 later. It's gonna be the expense is gonna be a lot more, I feel, from anything that comes, John, I've been involved in a job before. You know what I mean, all of a sudden you do it 2, and I just thought it would save money, that's why I brought it up the other day, I think.
So the
this
question is, do we wanna do 2 now and get 2 done,
I guess, I mean.
or put the whole thing off and shoot for 4? That's the question.
Yeah, no, I agree.
We can get 2 done, and we can get 2 done without the bidding process, which makes it, correct?
I definitely wanna move forward no matter what. All I was saying is, if he's in there, and he doesn't hit rock and doesn't hit anything, if we, you know, the bid is, I think most contractors would say, when you put a bid in, you go for the worst case scenario. You don't look for the best case scenario. If you happen to fall between the worst and the best, and he can go a little bit further for that 15,000, so that we can start to have some of the infrastructure done.
No, wait, the 15,000 is to do the 2, right?
Yeah.
Not to add on anything,
Right.
it would be over 15, and if he starts it, and
And it
it's
goes to 20,
20,
then
then he's
it
gotta stop,
completely changes it.
because
Yeah,
it's different.
I get what you're saying.
Can I ask a girl question?
That's my line.
Can I ask a girl question? If we do 2 at this time, and we wanna add 2 more to it, when they get bonded together, is there gonna be a big issue with it, Jarrett?
There's gonna be a cold seam, but no, you could put the manifold on the end together.
Okay,
It's gonna be,
that was just my,
but
you know, to see if,
So we
you know what I
could
mean,
get
if there would be
2
any.
now, but
Right, and then put them together.
Do they have to be hooked together?
I would
They
think
don't.
Why
so.
can't they be separate?
They could
What
do
if it has to move?
2 and 2,
Sometimes they
right?
put a fence between.
Yeah,
Well,
between them,
that's what
okay,
Yeah,
all right,
They don't have to be hooked right together.
okay.
Okay, I'm done discussing.
So it's a pleasure. We wanna,
I don't know, what
Vote.
we want
I don't know
She
what-
made a motion, we discussed, let's vote. The motion was for 2 pickleball courts.
so for the 2. So there's a motion by trustee Fulmer, second by trustee Demo, to proceed with the 2 pickleball with Otter Creek Development. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Let me ask another question, I just need to ask this. We have a quote for 2.
3.
What?
Oh.
Okay, we have,
Don't really
oh
confuse
man,
us.
we have 3 quotes. We have a quote for 2 pickleball courts. And they don't have to be attached, there could be a fence in between. Can we not ask him for another quote for the other 2, separate from this one?
You can ask for a separate quotes from any number of persons right now for a different project, which might be an additional 2 courts.
Okay, so, we could,
And you might come in a
walk me
lot
through
more.
this, we have a quote for 15 to do 2. Tomorrow, you ask him for another quote to do 2 more, because all of a sudden we decided I'm just saying, we want 2 more, it's a different project, and we can get away with that. We don't have to put it out to bid because
You
2 different jobs.
You can do that but I just wanna make sure you're aware, I mean, so it's a separate contract. The risk you will have is that a competitor will say, if I had known that you were going to do the two, and then turn around and solicit a quote for the next two, I would have sharpened my pencil. The company, Otter Creek.
Yeah, but we had a problem even getting the other two to pick up a pencil.
Because Otter Creek's got a competitive advantage. And if that happens, then my advice to you is this, that regardless of that, you always have the ability to consider a change order for a contract. And because a change order is something that's unanticipated, this wasn't anticipated when you initially saw those quotes, so you've got some flexibility with it. Right? I think that it sounds like you voted in favor of going forward with this particular contractor for that, and you certainly do have the discretion of going forward with an additional proposal from this contractor and others, you know, and then you can evaluate what the cost would be and whether you've got the wherewithal to cover it, et cetera.
So,
I like your thinking.
yeah.
So where does
Okay.
the money come from for the other two courts?
We have 25,000,
Right, and town,
and the town says they have another 10. That is the only guaranteed fund, right, at this time.
I think, my understanding, the Betterment said if they were if they knew they were gonna do them definitely, that they would come up with the 5,000. That's what my understanding is from Betterment.
okay. So,
40.
we have the motion we accepted the quote from Otter Creek site for these two. Now we just decided we want two more. Do we need a motion to give you permission, a second quote for these other two?
I think you should, yes.
Okay. Am I doing the right thing here? Going in the right direction? So.
Well, you can always get the base down and then we'll work from there.
Right, okay.
We
so-
have to have guaranteed, just so you guys know, we have to have guaranteed funds for a project. I can't say, well, Betterment might give you this, or they might give you that. You
But we
can't
have
take
enough-
taxpayers'
What about
money.
the extra one, you said you had
Yeah,
We have
that,
enough
yeah.
to do this, so
Yeah.
I
We have
would
enough
like,
to do this.
Garrett, walk me through this. I would like to make a motion that you now approach Otter Creek Site Development for a quote for the other two that we just decided to do.
Three.
What?
You have to have three.
Yeah, we gotta go back to what
What's your total?
Attorney Burrows
What's your
said, you
total?
gotta have
Blacktop, you got stone, you got $50,000 worth of landscape, and you got $30,000 worth of money.
35.
So you haven't even added the ones together yet. You haven't added your blacktop, you haven't added your landscaping, you haven't added your stone yet.
No.
You're gonna be over your 30,000 now.
We have 25,000 in the account, we have 10,000 in a check at the town, and in the town's budget for this year, they have a line item for another 20,000 for Alexandria Bay Village improvements. That
So that's 55.
we can ask for, pardon me?
That's 55, but the village has been hauling and paying for all of this stone that,
What's the total of what you got right now?
So
You
if
got
we are,
15, you got-
if you cut the blacktopping in half for the one court, because he's got prepping involved in it, which you won't have any prepping. That price was $21,060.
For two courts,
For the four, that's four.
for 4 courts.
So that would be cut down to $10,000 in blacktop.
That's what I'm asking.
So.
Yeah, that's a lot better. That's a lot
That's what I'm trying to say, is that we got the funds for, I've done my homework, it's just, if we can do what we, and you never know, once they find out the underlying, what's underneath there, the next quote might come in cheaper, when you find out that.
If he's
it's
right
not-
there at the same time and can do it.
Incidentals, you don't have the cost of moving everything.
Right, so,
And you've actually only got 3 sides, because you're gonna have a shared side.
Right.
So instead of having 4 sides, you've got 3 sides, because two sides are shared. So it shouldn't be 15, it should be 12
So,
to do the foundation for the second.
But we have the money to finish 2 courts.
right,
Okay,
and that's with using the old fence from the park.
okay, so that's what we were told they wanted, right? Okay. So I'm making a motion to
Seek 3 more.
Okay.
3 more,
Three bids.
3 bids or quotes for the other 2. And then we'll have 4, we would have 2 that would be done by sometime in May, and then we have the other 2. Does that work?
That'll be pressed and ready. And then they want to fundraise or help with some more money.
So we'll have by May, the end of May, that'll be done, and then you'll have 2 that are prepped. Does that work for us, everybody?
For sure, yeah.
At least
That makes
then
sense.
we're moving.
Economically, that makes sense all the way around, yeah.
Okay, that's my motion. Don't make me repeat it.
I'll second it. Thanks for thinking outside that box.
Next time I
Motion
need
by
my crayon.
trustee Fulmer, second by trustee Caputo to try to secure second quote for the courts number 3 and 4. Correct?
Yes,
All in favor?
aye.
Opposed?
That was painful.
That was painful.
That's horrible.
You're right.
Okay. And we can still have DPW do trash. You just won't have, you have to hold your garbage maybe for 2 weeks sometime, so.
Chamber events, number 3.
Table.
Did we still want to, pardon
She
me?
said table it.
Table it? Motion table.
I'll make a motion to table the chamber events. I'll second it.
Motion by trustee Fulmer, second by
Thank
trustee
you
Demo
very
to
much.
table.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. I have a headache.
You don't want to,
Oh,
you don't want to stay to see what I'm proposing the new rates be?
Right for what now? I don't care.
Okay. Anything else under old business, new business? Override tax cap, we're not gonna do that. Number 2 is adopt fiscal budget 2023-2024. Whereas Village Board, Village of Alexandria Bay, New York, has devoted considerable time and attention to budgetary issues for the upcoming fiscal year, whereas the Village Board intends to adopt legislation to provide greater financial flexibility during budget deliberation if needed. Now therefore be resolved by the Village Board for the Village of Alexandria Bay, New York as follows. Foregoing recitation is incorporated herein to make and made a part hereof as set forth hereafter. Village Board hereby enacts local law, I'm sorry.
No, we're doing tax.
No, see, all you have
That's
to
all right,
do,
tax
all you
cap.
have to do is take a motion, sorry.
Pardon me?
All you have to do is take a motion
For the budget.
for the budget.
Tax cap.
That's
we're
all
not
tax
I know,
cap.
I'm reading the road.
No, there isn't one,
Okay.
because it's not a local law.
Have a
It's just
motion
accepting.
to adopt budget.
I'll make a motion to adopt the fiscal budget for 2023-24. I second it.
Motion by trustee Fulmer, second by trustee Demo to adopt the fiscal budget 2023-2024. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion carried. Number 3, Walt. How's the for you?
I'm here, but I don't know why. I mean, we don't
Okay.
have the plans and we don't have the specs. There's communication between the committee and the architect.
I have a notice for Village of Alexandria Bay, Aaron's Fox Edition Contracts number 1, that's the advertisement for bids.
So I received that today, and I am going to question that. We received it, and it said the bid packets and everything can be picked up at the village. I have nothing except that at the time, and generally, when we do bids and stuff, they are all done through, they're saying Fourth Coast, right? Because they're saying send stuff to me and
Fourth
I.
Coast stamped it, yes.
Yeah.
Mark did all the
Right.
work.
So, but I'm generally not part of all of taking all the information and having bids and stuff there, so I just had a question, and I know Mark's out of town, so I didn't know.
It's usually done by the engineering firm,
Right.
not her.
Right.
So, I guess her question is she doesn't know why she got it.
Can we
It
table
should
this?
come from them.
I didn't even know they sent it to her, so I can't.
Yeah, they brought it in today to me, so,
Who sent it to you?
Table that.
Can we table it now,
Mark.
give them a call?
yeah.
Motion to table?
If I have to gag and tie them, they'll all be at the next board meeting, I guarantee it. We just want this thing to move.
Yeah.
Motion?
I'll make a motion to table the Bay Fire Department paperwork. Second it.
Motion by trustee Fulmer, second by trustee Caputo to table, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, I'll get over that. Number 4, consider paying lifeguards $16 per hour.
Well, that's my motion to pay that, the state's paying $20 an hour in several parks around us. So we paid $15.50 last year, so we thought that 16 for this year, hopefully might entice some local people to be lifeguards. So my motion was to pay 16, unless anybody has discussion. Maybe I'm too quick.
No, we're not New York State to pay 20.
We can't afford to pay 20.
What are the rest of the seasonal temporaries getting? I don't even know.
Like, dock attendants are minimum $14.20.
That could be a reason why we're not getting any employees. I mean, I think 16 should be a minimum for everybody. I mean, that's why we're not having that's why people aren't coming back and, you said you didn't have any applications for docs?
Yes, I do.
Oh, I thought you said you didn't.
No,
You needed
I'm
people.
looking for more.
Looking for more. But, I don't know.
Is the 2 older ones coming back, or you haven't heard from them?
I haven't heard from them. Once I know what we're paying, I can call them and say this. We have one at this point. We need at least, did we have 3 last year? I need at least 3. So if I know I'm paying 16, then I can call the others and ask if they'll come back. Because they were upset last year when they found out, what was the state paying last year? Or did we know?
20.
Yeah, we
20.
knew
They
at
wanted
that point.
20.
Yeah. So I can call if we're approved for $16 an hour.
Sure, a second. I'll second it.
Thank you.
Motion by trustee Fulmer, second by trustee Caputo to offer $16 per hour for the lifeguards. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next is the CSEA contract, for review.
We don't have a contract, we just have the pages that we got.
We don't have the
Action.
complete contract, we have the tentative agreement that was negotiated and signed. And they will be sending us the new changes to the full contract for final signature.
Is there any discussion on it, or
Any?
I'm ready to make a motion to approve it.
Anything more?
I'll
Any
second
questions?
it.
Pardon me?
I'll second it.
You made the motion.
I did.
Motion by trustee Fulmer, second by trustee Demo, to approve. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye. Opposed?
Number 6 is send delinquent water sewer to Jefferson County for re-levy with the tax roll.
That's your total on there.
Total is
So right in the middle on the top, 3,000.
$3,616.25. And that's,
That's low.
Very low. That's not bad at all.
That's very good for,
it's not bad for 5 residents.
I'll make a motion to send delinquent water sewer to Jefferson County to be re-levied on the tax roll.
I'll second it.
Motion by trustee Fulmer, second by trustee Caputo, to send delinquent to Jefferson County for re-levy on a tax. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Waive late fee water sewer account for $5.55 due to clerk error on zip code change.
I'll make a motion that we waive the service charge.
I'll second.
Motion by trustee Caputo, second by trustee Fulmer. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Cleanup week.
okay. We generally do it, Jared, the week before Victoria Day, correct? So that would give us the week of the 15th of May to the 19th to be the last day. Everything has to be off the street by end of Friday.
I'll make a motion to make cleanup week, May 15th to the 19th of 2023.
I'll second it.
Motion by trustee Fulmer, second by trustee Caputo. Cleanup week, May 15th through the 19th. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Pay app number 7, DC Builders. Excuse me, $109,107.50.
I'll make a motion to pay DC Builders $9,107.50.
I'll second.
Motion by trustee Caputo, second by trustee Fulmer, to pay DC Builders. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 10, change order number 2. That is, I get an email for Gregor, that's not ready.
Okay.
It's not ready?
No. Number 11 is considering golf course rates for the 2023 season.
This is why I wanted you guys to stay, okay, because I want to know how controversial I'll be. If you look up on the front page, on the front desk, I put some copies of the proposed rates, what they were. On the back side of it, when I first started this budget thing this year, I asked the town accountant, the village accountant, what the profit and loss had been on the golf course for the last 5 years. And you can see where that is. We have gotten better the last couple years, but in 2018, there was a $41,000 loss, and it's been between that and $9,000. And that does not include our liability insurance and our workers' comp. As I have told the board during our budget sessions, I do not believe that village golf course should be supplemented basically by the village taxpayers. Because there are some taxpayers that play, but not a lot of them. I don't think that it should be a profit-making thing either. Leave that for the individual business owners. But we should at least be breaking even. On the other side of the sheet, we have lots of categories, and I sat down with Melissa last week and we talked about this, and I think we are very competitive in the daily rates. Our season passes, I believe, are incredibly low. Our student rates for 17 and under, we only had 17 season passes last year. The 18 to 23, there was only one season pass, and she said can get confusing up there, and she would like to recommend, and I agree with her, to do away with that age category. I've looked at other golf courses around and they don't even have it. We have village residents, last year was 180. There was only 8 people that purchased one. Village family, there was only 1 family that purchased that. Village seniors, now that's where we have quite a few of those. For 60 and above, there was 27 season holders.
Wait, I'm trying to follow you here.
Okay.
So you wanna do away with 18 to 23 students for 120.
Yep,
Village resident is gonna go from 180 to 250.
yep. Basically,
And then you're doing away with village family?
yeah, 'cause I wanna make it a village couple, and I'll explain why. Basically, every category, I want to go up $70. Village seniors, we do 60 and above. The other courses around are either 62 and above, one is 65 and above. We're currently at $150. I'd like to go up to $220. Non-residents are $250. There was only 3 of those. Non-resident seniors, there was 37. So our seniors are definitely the ones that are playing the most. They have the time. I would propose that all categories go up $70. The one that concerns me the most in doing this is the students, because our young people are the ones that we want to encourage to play. So taking that from $70 to $140, I'll be the first one to say, I think that is a lot. Here's how I want to offset that. And I'm going to go to obviously I'll be at the town boarding next week, and I'm going to ask on behalf of the golf course. Last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago, you can correct me on this, the town has always given the golf course $1,000 towards the youth to encourage them to play. What I would like to see happen is, but the town would also like to know who is it that's actually using it. They kind of like a name and a record. So my proposal is this year, any student that's in high school or lower, whatever, in school, come to the town office. I'm going to give them a voucher, so long as they approve this, and I believe they will, for $50 to go towards their seasonal pass. What I'd also like to see happen is right now, the school is not paying anything for the golf team to play on the course. So when they have matches and they have to use golf carts, the coaches both use a cart for both teams, because they have equipment and stuff they need to have just for safety reasons. None of this is getting paid for. And anybody who puts gas in their car, all these expenses have gone up. And it's nice to say, oh, you don't have to pay, but I think they should be paying something. My recommendation is $20 per student. In the past, they used to pay. I wish Shooky because Molly remembers the school used to pay something. I don't know what happened or what the theory was why it stopped. But I would like to see $20 per student. It's not a lot of money. I don't want to say 500 if they've only got 10 students. You know, that would be expensive. But if they paid $20 per student, any student that played on the high school team, that would be taken off of their season pass. So actually, the students could come down to $70 and they wouldn't be paying any more than what they paid last year. So that's my spiel on that. I know, looking at it, bottom line, it's almost a double, but I have ways where they can, you know, make it so that it's not double. One of the big things that the people who work the golf course, they really hate the private golf carts on the course. They hate it, for whatever reason. We would like to raise that $50, so a private golf course, if you live in the village and you're gonna drive it up there, it's gonna be $200 to have your private golf cart and use it there. If you store your golf cart at the golf course, $250. And there's a thing that it's only supposed to be the person or the couple or the family that's on that. If other people ride, they're supposed to pay the $10 that would normally go to the course. And we really want to see it just grandfathered for the people that already have carts, no new carts, because we want to get away from that. Currently, the golf cart rentals for 9 holes is $10 per person. For 18, it was at 20. That's kind of high. $40 for a cart for 2 people to play 18 holes, that's a lot. We actually want to bring that rate down to $15 per person. That's still $30, that's a lot, that's enough. Any questions, comments on golf course stuff? Give me some history so I know why things were like that.
I'm gonna ask you a question about the students.
Okay?
Okay, the students, you got just 1 fee. You got non-resident adults, and you got resident adults. How about the kids? Are these 14 kids from the village, Alexandria Bay, or are they from the town, Alexandria?
Well, students are anybody in Alex Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Students are students. It doesn't matter if they're from the village or.
Yeah, it does. If they're a village taxpayer's kid, they're a village taxpayer's kid. There is a difference.
But there was only one.
Okay, that's all.
There was only one student. There was only one student, so I don't know. I mean, my goal,
I'm just.
if I had my way, if I can get it to break even so that it's not being supplemented by the village, I would like to see the village and the town residents go away and just have it one. But right now, while the village is supplementing, that is the only reason why I feel a village resident should get the benefit of having it a little bit of a reduced rate.
And that reason, because villages don't own the golf course.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and that's the only way. If we can make this so that we at least start breaking even, then the village residents won't say, well, we're supplementing, which is, and they should say it right now, because honestly, they are. So, for that reason, they do deserve to get it a little bit cheaper.
I'm wondering too, I would think the school, just like they pay for hockey or anything, I would think the school would pay for the students.
I think the school, because we pay the ice arena.
Right?
That's exactly
So why
what I
wouldn't we pay
said.
the golf course?
That's
So I
exactly
can
what I
agree with
said.
that. Somewhere between the time I started and now, there wasn't, and I can't tell you because I can't remember, that they used to pay, I just remembered, it was $500 for the golf team and it was $150 for tennis per year. And I don't know what.
They didn't even charge for students.
Do you remember why, Greg?
They didn't even charge for students. They could go up there, they could go up and play anytime they wanted to
Right.
play.
And during the golf season, they do. They go up and they play all the
Okay.
time, and they never. And I wish we could be there. I really do. But the 100, well, not 100. How many resident taxpayers do we have? How many parcels? Like, we have 1,000 taxpayers, so however many parcels we actually have,
Something.
you know, 600 taxpayers are paying the taxes, but you only have, how many residents you had? 37 that are actually playing and using it, so those other 620 are paying for that. And here's the analogy I'll use. How many here are boaters and have a boat? Come on, you got a boat. Somebody's got a boat. When you pull up to the village dock, if you're a village resident, do you not have to pay so much to dock your boat for a few hours as somebody else, or do you pay the same thing? You pay the same. So why, if the boaters aren't getting a break, you know,
I agree, why doesn't the town take over part of the golf course? It only makes sense, I mean, we're all in it together, aren't we, one big town and village together?
Only 2 holes in the village, the rest of them are in the town Alexandria.
One more question for you.
Okay, that's a whole nother discussion.
saying, that might solve a lot of
One
problems.
golf cart is the question I always hear, is, and you're doing private golf carts at, $200. But the private golf carts aren't being used by the person that owns the private golf cart. Everybody uses somebody else's cart.
And that's why they get
So
so
that-
frustrated up there.
Yeah, that's where the whole trouble is, that's where the.
That's exactly
the
where the
ache
trouble is.
So, how could you, that's where you're gonna start your private golf cart. Somehow you've gotta have some thing on that,
Right.
because you see them run up through and it's not the same person in the golf cart every time. I mean, my
And that's, and
My
that's,
ancestors, there, my whole family uses it.
yep, and that's what frustrates them up there so much. And they're like, and I agree with them, just do away with the golf course, but I thought I'd be lynched if I said that.
You do know when you post these rates that, I can't speak for the ladies league, but for the men's league, this board meeting next time is gonna be swarmed with people. You're actually.
I
But
refuse to take the abuse that I did last year, and
But
I'm
you
just
know
telling
what?
everybody.
You know what?
It was horrible, horrible. I would call it.
We proposed no increase for the league rates, for the league amounts.
No, but I'm a league member.
Okay.
So last year, I don't know, what senior citizen paid $145, now it's going to what?
150 is going to 220.
220.
$70. That course ain't worth a $70 improvement. How many times did you girls play last year where the hole was the same place for 3-4 weeks at a time?
That's the problem, of course.
And I absolutely agree with you. That's why, I took 3 other courses around and looked, and I listed them there, Lanebrook, Clayton, and Lafargeville. And you will see that our rates are still way lower than what a normal golf course would be for just that reason. And I'm hoping that we have a little bit of new blood up there, with some experience that can help teach Tim how often he should be mowing the greens and moving holes and that sort of thing. So I'm hoping.
I mean, he was asked last year, the league approached him all the time, you need to change the holes from time to time. It sat there for 3-4 weeks at a time. I mean, it was the same pin placement every friggin' night.
I absolutely agree.
And then when they change them, you could clearly see the last hole.
Right. But and you can't blame the weather on them, and I'll be the first person to admit it. But because you can't run the game, don't mean you can't run a weed eater. I'm saying, when you're actually playing in the fairway and you're playing out of that much grass, you're telling me that I'm gonna pay $70 more to do that? I'm gonna go to Seaway or someplace else to play because it's worth it over there. It's better maintained. They seem to do, with the wet weather, they seem to have their course in better shape than what ours is. You got nobody that knows what the hell they're doing out there. Change that, and then talk about changing the rates, but I mean, this is, holy cow, you're just blowing this thing out of the world.
I will absolutely agree that last year the golf course was horrible. Like I said, we are bringing someone on that has got a lot of experience, but again, it's in that over 70 category, so, which, if you go over there and you look at that hole punch right now, with the exception of hopefully they can teach Marcus Flynn how to run it, those other 3 senior gentlemen can't run it because they've got a very, very old hole punch. Now, Tim should be able to because he's got the physical strength, but it is the type of old hole punch that you have to have the physical strength. Have you used it? You gotta be strong. And I'm sorry, my 77-year-old father, who has owned a golf course for 35 years, who is going to be helping them this year, he's got his pesticide license, he's got all of that, so that he can help Tim with the fertilizing and doing what needs to be done. He doesn't have the physical strength to operate that piece of equipment, and so I understand what Tim's talking about. All I'm gonna say is, give us a chance, we're gonna do our best.
I'm gonna tell you, are you adopting these rates tonight, or is this something that's?
No.
Yeah, okay.
Not tonight. Critter.
So I'm excited that your dad's gonna do it, right? So I hear my brother, my sister, they all play golf. And they say the Bay's the worst course. Sorry.
It is,
But
I
you
agree.
just admitted to it. They say the rough is weeds and the fairways.
I don't believe Tim will be the first, in my conversations with him, Tim will admit that he is not a golfer, and he honestly doesn't know the difference between what a rough and a fairway is. And it showed last year, because he didn't know how to mow them.
So there's a couple other things. So when I was on the golf course, I had it years ago. The reason we did kids for free is try to get promotion of, get them started in
Yeah,
golf,
that's what we were thinking today.
right? Get them started in the golf, and maybe they'll stick with it. It's kinda like learn to skate, get them started in golf, maybe they'll stick with it. And then my other brother was hollering one day, he was here on vacation from Texas. They went up there and played, and the cart smelled like beer, all beer, right? So the next day, when they went in the clubhouse, they said, listen, can we get the cart without smelling like beer? So how come we don't clean them every day? So I think if you do better course maintenance and take care of things, it's a great place. We're glad we have it.
They were cleaned every day I worked up there last year. You know I
They were
Well, maybe it was the day you weren't working.
All those guys know I screwed those.
Maybe it was great when we didn't have any employees.
All right,
Maybe this isn't the
I
information.
struggled
Well,
for
don't get mad at me,
every
but I'm
day.
just telling you, they didn't want the beer cart.
Sandy, I do have one on it. Last year, we did the youth tickets, I don't know what, it's on the site. The town did so many, and the village did so many, say 10 each, or 20, or 15 each. And if they were a village taxpayer, because this was brought up, not a resident, if you paid taxes in the village or town, your children, not your grandchildren, your cousin's children, or your aunt's or uncle's children, your children got these passes. And that's how we did it instead of what you're talking about.
Right.
And that, I think the mayor talked to Brent about that already.
Yes.
And I believe I'm asking the village if we would agree to it also this year again. That would give us 20 all right, we did 14, say, that would give us 20, and then we can reconsider. You know what I mean? If we get a ton of kids. That way, we're giving that,
Doesn't Brett want more discussion?
we're giving that, so it's
so
something to
last year
consider.
we had 14 students under 17.
Yeah,
That we split between the village and the town, 17.
yeah.
I spoke with Brent this afternoon, and he would like to get as many village and town students under 17, if they come in, if they're, like you said, the residents of the village or the town, then they get to play for free, and they're covered by,
As a resident, not a
they're residents,
taxpayer.
they're not, exactly. yes.
Okay, because we have to make sure we establish that. 'Cause
So, Mr.
we get
Sweet
in
said he
trouble.
was gonna discuss it at their board meeting next week.
How much is tennis and pickleball? I don't know.
We weren't touching those.
30,000.
Good answer. Divide by how many?
Put it this way,
Wasn't it?
you didn't keep track, you made a little more money in pickleball than you did in tennis, I'll tell you that.
I don't have it with me.
Membership
What is it, 10
and regular play, actually.
for pickleball, tennis,
Four.
for the day?
60 for village, 75 for non-village.
Yep.
For the
That's the
season.
season passes, we're 60, 75, for the second family member, 50 and 60.
What's that, Jeannie?
I didn't say anything.
And the daily rate is $6 per person per day.
I didn't say.
We thought was fine. So we weren't changing, like I said, and we didn't change the daily rate either for golf. And we lowered the cart rate. I don't know.
So, I have a
Do you have the
big
figures
question.
for what season passes used to be like 10 years ago, when Bruce Miller was working there? The course was a lot better, a lot nicer. I think you'd find that the deterioration for the season passes went down because the only time that people wanna play it is during league play. So they just pay the daily fee for the league fee. They're members someplace else, they're members at Seaway, they're members at TI clubs, and I think that's why your membership's down for season passes. It's not worth playing other than the league, I mean, it's just not.
My opinion is that we don't change the rates give Sandy a chance to get a grip on this. I wouldn't wanna go there and nothing changes. I would wanna personally see the change, to keep the rates the way they are, and then next year, look at changing the rates. Just to do this boom, out of nowhere, isn't good, for me.
I'd like to ask for a motion to table this to let us all absorb changes and possibly the charges to the school or all the changes so that we can
I'm
help
not
with.
stuck on the 70. I think,
So I'd like a motion to table so we can talk. Is
But,
that,
can I ask this? If you table, Mayor,
yes,
and everybody who's heard this tonight
yeah.
is gonna come in and wanna buy their season pass tomorrow at the old rate, we either say you can't, or,
Well, when is the golf course opening? In May?
Talked to Tim today, and in the best case scenario of having it open the best possible correctly would be like May 4th.
oh, that's bullshit. I'm just gonna say that up front.
Well,
They're mowing greens already.
yeah, they just
So
started
long as the weather stays,
well,
they gotta get the clubhouse cleaned out. The weather's gonna be 60 degrees this weekend. Everybody's gonna wanna be playing.
okay, so they've done it before, gone out
Still got
early.
a condition in green, mowing them once doesn't mean that it's a good button service, they got a condition in greens, you're not
Yeah.
gonna do it in 2 weeks' time, you're just not happening.
It-
What
it's,
happens if the golf course is not open this weekend and people go and play? They go and play
No,
for
they
free?
Same thing, you go
yeah,
play,
they can,
Yeah, they can go play.
you know?
yeah, they can.
Okay, so we aren't selling any more season, if we table this, we aren't settling any more last year's numbers, we're waiting. If this opens May 4th, we have to have a special meeting to approve prices, so that it's on, because our meeting is until the second
yeah.
Tuesday. So, you don't wanna raise rates, you wanna raise something.
Do you know when was the last time rates were raised?
Last year,
Pat, how much?
$25, I think. I can pull last year's, I'd have to look for sure.
What if we raised just $20 on it?
And I'd be happy with that. I mean, I'd be happy with starting somewhere. The cost of everything has gone up. The cost of salaries have gone up. Everything has gone up. I think leaving it the same is,
That's why I'd like to,
Okay,
I mean, you
I'll-
sent it to us today, I'd like to be able to look at it. And we'll set up a date in a couple of weeks, and that'll give us time to look at everything. If that,
Can you just not tell people that we're not selling anything until
Correct.
it gets resolved? I
Yeah,
mean,
Yes.
we're not selling
You
anything
can't get a
this time.
season pass until,
Cause we
the
did
court's
gift
open.
certificates, like there's gift certificates out there for Christmas, but right on them it says, rates are subject to change. You know what I mean? That's just a gift certificate for the purchase, so.
Okay,
I'm fine
I'll
with all
make a
that.
motion to table this. And we can do that with a special meeting, Molly, by
We should
tabling?
set a date, please,
Instead of doing it, I think it's adjourned.
or just adjourn it at a time.
All right,
So we can adjourn without setting a date and time.
Okay.
Well, no, you
No, no,
you
okay.
adjourn setting a date and time, that way you don't have to publish
Oh,
notice.
got it,
Okay, but I
All
need to, I make a motion to table this price changes for today. Right?
was for trustee Fulmer to table? You're not going to.
I'll second it, I don't
Okay.
care.
Was by trustee Fulmer, second by trustee Caputo to table. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay.
Date
Yes.
time.
So we'll
So
set,
you need, yes, please, thank you.
Thank you. I have one quick question. Do they do the cart passes anymore or no? Used to be you could get a cart pass.
I think they do.
last
They do.
week,
I think they do.
You get a card pass every year,
get a
right?
cart pass.
Yeah.
Two and a quarter, I think it was last year for 20 rides,
I
or
can do
25 rides.
Thursday.
I think so,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know they do it, but I'm not sure how
You
much
can
it
do
is.
Thursday. I can, the twenty-seventh? Yep, I can do the twenty-seventh. You do the twenty-seventh? Can you do the twenty-seventh?
Let me check my schedule. Yes.
I bring it.
That, time, please. So I can,
Are you good for the twenty-seventh?
4, right, Sandy? After 4.
Like a Thursday?
Yeah, twenty-seventh. 4:30?
4:30?
4:30? 27th at 4:30.
Well, I'll be here.
I kind of figured that.
I won't be alone, but I'll be here.
I've never heard you so vocal about something.
I have one voice in my life, and now you wanna kill me by raising the rates. Come on, that's the only relaxation and enjoyment I get.
It's not on here, but I just want to bring up, we met April 4th for the New York Forward.
Yeah.
And, we had a pretty good amount of people, but probably we should get more people. The New York Forward is for property owners, business owners downtown to look at applying for state funds to make improvements to your property, your third floor of your building, or getting a new facade, painting, whatever. It's a 60-40 grant, and our next meeting will be May 8th at 6 p.m. So, we're looking, Cape Vincent just got $4.5 million for it. If we can get people together, the business owners, property owners downtown, Pine Tree Point, River Edge, we've expanded downtown to incorporate a lot more businesses. The more we can get, the better. Yes?
So the chamber's gonna have their meeting next door?
Okay,
The same day,
okay,
and they're gonna do it at 5, and we'll come in here after, so.
thank you.
Great, thank you.
That way they don't have far to go. Good.
Wonderful. Can we ask the chamber to send email to all your chamber members? We've asked twice,
We've done it, like you said, at the
but
meeting.
nobody saw it. Nobody's gotten them.
They're telling you they
Seriously.
haven't gotten
I
it?
haven't got one, and I'm a member. She hasn't got one. She's a member. Seriously. And when we
I
did the
don't know
meeting
any,
here-
I know,
They went out on constant contact, but I will speak to them
When
about
did that happen? We
well,
gotta find out when that happened.
Well,
'cause watched
I
that.
mean, I got one and I saw it on constant contact, but I will.
I gotta go
speak-
back and look.
I will,
Yep.
I will speak to the office about it and make sure they go out again.
Can you let us know when it goes out? Because we'll give you more paperwork so that we can track it and, so we just don't, so people just don't say, oh, I never got it. I'd like to know what date it goes out.
Well, I can ask them to copy you.
Yes, if I could get one,
Yeah,
that'd be great,
we
because I'm
can
a
do that.
member.
Yeah, then you'll know.
Okay.
The constant contact thing, that kind of pops up at different times, but the emailing, I'll have a copy.
Constant contact comes out. Yeah, whatever day it
That's
is.
kind of random, I
Anything
don't know
else?
exactly when
Yes,
it.
anybody have any?
anybody have anything? Public concerns?
Steve, why don't, if there's 50 businesses downtown or whatever there is, why don't we buy $50 worth of stamps and send everybody a notice?
I'm gonna be doing a lot of
Oh,
calling too.
we delivered and made phone calls.
I know, I'm just saying, so
Yep.
everybody has one sent.
We're just trying to make sure
Yep.
everybody, you know.
We're gonna spend some time to reach out to everybody too.
No, I'm in Florida, send me an email.
Molly?
I just, the bid for this, Walt just went over it. They do have the paperwork that they need, just the fire department doesn't have it yet.
Fire department doesn't have.
Fourth
any.
Coast does have all this,
That's who they contact for the bid, to get the bid and the specs.
and the payment for that. So he's asking if we could reconsider moving forward to advertise for bids for this.
As long as Fourth Coast does it all like BCA does.
Right.
She doesn't
They're
do
saying
any-
they're going to have some here that people can look at.
That's all.
That's all.
They can pick 'em up.
get the plans from them.
Okay, so we'll go back.
There's a email and what have you that they contact Fourth Coast to get the bid specs and the plan.
Like we do with BCA.
So, to let everybody know, the fire department is looking to put an addition
on the front part by the bar of the fire hall. It'll be a glass enclosed display for the 1922 Aaron's Fox. It'll have a heated floor, the glass enclosure, lights, and so forth. This is saying for the Aaron's Fox, but is it also this should also include the overhead too, correct?
This is a garage door on the backside too, yeah.
Yes. On the backside of the building, there's a bay, but it's all enclosed, and you gotta move the front ambulance out to get the second ambulance out. It would just make more sense to put an overhead door on that wall so that they can back in and both respond, whatever.
I can help you explain it a little better, Steve, if you want, I mean, if you wanna hear it. I can help them explain it a little bit better.
Go ahead.
I think. When Red Wing about their ambulance, our ambulances took over the entire town of Alexandria. We can't do it with one, okay? So we need two ambulances. Well, in the summertime, it's not a major problem, we can leave one outside. But in the wintertime, you can't leave it outside, so the Fox has to go into cold storage, which is not good for a 100-year-old vehicle. So our proposal includes that garage door on the back side where both ambulances would back in, they'd have their own door, then the ladder truck would go where it belongs, and the Fox building would be there, and the Fox would be in a heated place, set where if Jennifer walked up to the window, the sensors would come on and it would display the Fox and all the memorabilia that's in there. So that's what the project is.
So we approved that project already and doing it. What you need today is just a motion to
That they can go.
allow you to move forward with the
Move forward
bidding
and go
process.
with the bid, yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to allow
So you have, you wanna remove from the table, where we did it first,
Yep.
please.
So motion to remove the
I need
table.
a motion, or I'll make a motion to remove it from being tabled.
Second.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Motion by trustee Fulmer, second by trustee Demo to remove the table on the Alex Bay Fire Department bid. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Now,
Okay, so now I'll make a motion to allow the Bay Fire Department and their engineer to be able to go forward with the bidding process. Is that right, Mr. Brew?
I just saw it tonight.
Go for, I think that's what,
And the
go
bid
forward with the
specifications
bidding
are
process.
available, and the bid specifications are, plans are at the Fourth Coast.
Okay, that's my motion.
I'll second it.
Second by trustee Demo. Motion made by trustee Fulmer, second by trustee Demo to proceed with the bidding for the renovation of the fire department. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Public concerns.
I think we did it all.
We're moving forward. No public concern.
yes, yes.
So we're going into executive session.
Moving the motion.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
I'll second it.
Motion by trustee Fulmer, second by trustee Demo. All in favor? Aye. I missed.
Cindy,
Everybody,
I think part of the problem is maybe